Some, hit the key.
I can't lie, I'm kind of feeling myself on that one. I appreciate that, LL. You know, you ever make a beat and you just kind of like, oh, I like that one. I like that. And I wasn't even going to make a drill beat at first. I was just going to make a regular trap beat. And all it took was one person in the chat to be like, make a drill beat. Okay, we'll make it a drill beat. I do like that though. So basically, like with the 808, here's just some simple tips for you. The best tip, we the Chronos, is, and I know this sounds like the most typical thing that you're gonna hear, but start with a good 808 and start with a good kick, because that's half the battle. Like if you're using like a bad 808 and you have to do all this stuff, you have to like do a bunch of EQing and distortion and trying to shape it and do all this other stuff, it's gonna take up more time. Just find a good kit. There's good free kits out there. So like that 808, I got a free kit. So join my Discord. The kit's in the Discord. And that's the 808 that I use for my kit. I typically use my kicks, and you know, they make them slap. So like this is what the 808 sounded like by itself. That's my Discord server. You can go in there and grab my kit. With my kit, you can get this 808. It's a basic 808, and you can basically get the same kick. It's a different kick, but it's basically the same. One thing that I did was I moved this and put the 808 in mono. So when it's like this, I mean, it's not spread out in the stereo, but it's not in mono. You want your 808 to sit in mono most of the time. I mean, you know, obviously there's exceptions to everything. So I put that in mono, and this is what the 808 sounded like by itself. So it's a decent 808. And then once you add the kick to it, the pattern, so typically I like to have my kick a little louder than the 808, but it just sounded fine on this one, so I left it like that. So now we have the kick and the 808 that sound like this. Part of the reason why it's smacking so hard, you got to make sure that you're cutting out frequencies. So you don't want to just cut out frequencies just to be cutting frequencies, but you need to listen to something and understand like frequencies. So like you see with this whistle noise right here. In the actual plugin, I cut all the frequencies, you know, to about 150 or so. And so that way the 808 can be the star of the low range. Because if you have like a bunch of different instruments in the low range, like in your low frequency range, then they're all fighting for the same attention. You know what I'm saying? So like I've done something before where, all right, so let's say, I can do it with this. All right. So let's say this is your frequency range, okay? And I know this it'll make sense, right? All right, so let's say this is your frequency range. So you have your lows that are underneath here, you have your mids that are in the middle, and you have your highs up top, okay? So if you have a piano that you haven't cut any of the frequencies out, and the frequencies are in, like, if you look at the screen, like in this area, okay, now you have the pianos that are in that low frequency taking up space, right? And so let's say you get another instrument. So now you have a guitar. And let's say the guitar, you have low notes in the guitar, and now you put the guitar in the low area as well. And so now you have the bass, and you got the bass in the low area as well. Now you can't see anything clearly. So pretend this is like a picture, or pretend this is a picture. So like, let's say somebody draws a picture, and they draw a picture of you, right? Then they draw a picture of your brother, right? Then they draw a picture of your dad, right? You can't see you can't see your brother, you can't see anything because it's all covered up. So you have to think about frequencies the same way. If there's too many things taking up the same spot in the mix, then you can't hear it. And a lot of times when you're making beats, if you're not understanding frequencies and how you have to cut stuff at certain frequencies, or if you don't understand why you have a bright flute and then your hi-hats and you have another bright instrument and they're all taking up this high frequency, and you don't understand why you can't really hear any of your high frequencies, you need to start cutting frequencies out and cutting out some of the high frequency, maybe of the flute or the hi-hats or whatever instrument that you're using. The same thing applies for bass. You have to, what's up, Jay Biggs? You have to use EQ to make sure your instruments are sticking out. You know, you don't want to make a beat with all instruments that are the same EQ. So like once you start, I don't know how long you've been making beats, so I'm not here to insult you. I'm not trying to call you a noob. I'm not trying, by no means am I trying to insult you. But once you've been making beats for a while, you can listen to stuff and just know, okay, I just need something in this other frequency. So like now when I make beats, I don't really always necessarily have to EQ everything, because when I'm selecting the sounds that I'm going to use, I know that it's going to work. Like when I picked this second noise right here, I don't think that I EQ'd it at all. I think I knew that, yeah, I don't think I EQ'd it at all. I didn't even mess with it, because when I was listening to the sound, I knew when I picked that sound, that sound, these two sounds were going to go together. So I picked this whistle noise first, and the first thing I did was EQ it and got it ready. So I picked this sound. And after I EQ'd it and stuff and got it ready, and it's got these delays and stuff, so I don't have to pan it to a different area, then I added this instrument. And once I listened to this, I listened to this obviously first. So I know they're not sitting in the exact same frequency range. So when you play them together, they complement each other. So you can hear both the sounds pretty well. So the next I picked the guitar, I knew I was going to put an electric guitar on it, but I knew how it was going to sound. So all those sounds complement each other. So I knew, you know, the next sound that I was going to pick, I knew I was going to arpeggiate something. So like if you were watching, everybody who was watching, I was like, all right, so this is going to kill my computer, because I already knew what I had in mind of what the next sound was going to be. And so then I knew I needed something that was going to be set a little bit higher frequencies, maybe a little bit in the upper mids, the lower high frequencies. And so then I came up with this. And so now that I have all those sounds, I have all my sounds picked out. The only thing that I'm missing is obviously low and low. But you can hear how there's not very much low end in the whole beat. So since there's not that much low end in the beat, the 808's going to stick all the way out in the beat. And so once you add the 808, so the 808's going to come in now, and the 808, you can hear the 808, you know, obviously thumping and stuff like that. So now that you hear the 808, now I add the kick, and the kick is what really makes it really thump. Is the right kick with the right 808 is what makes it thump. Now it's knocking. So I missed one kick though. But those are the easiest way. I mean, that's the easiest way that I can explain how to make your bass sound better. Is the first step is finding the right bass. You know, making sure you get a good bass. And then obviously the next step, thanks Frankie, I appreciate it. And then the next step is getting a good kick that complements it. Because not every kick's going to complement 808 and 808. You can have a fantastic kick and you can have a fantastic 808, but they might not sound good together. And so instead of wasting time trying to EQ the kick and boost the kick and do all this other stuff or do that to the 808, I would just look for another 808 and another kick. There is whatever combination of 808 and kick you're looking for is out there. And sometimes it might not be, there might be a fire 808 in one kit and a fire drum in another kit. So you can see how I mixed my 808 with Dixon's kick, and it came out perfect.
All right, guys and gals, thanks for watching the video. Make sure you hit the subscribe and like button. Make sure you hit that notification bell so every time a new video comes out, you can be the first to know. Let me know what tutorials you want to see next in the comments, and see you next time.
Sum, hit the key.